Hey guys, welcome to Ultimate Greatness, and today we have a bit of a draft guide for you guys for obviously the draft being tonight. Thought I'd go through my thoughts and who we could potentially be looking at, and who's potentially available and who would fit our needs per pick in the positions that we need filled. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get stuck into the video. So make sure to like and subscribe, and make sure to turn on the bell. And with all that done, let's get started. Alright, here we go. Alright, so obviously with the draft coming up, we obviously need to know who's in their best 23, both AFL and VFL. So without further ado, I will go ahead and do my best 23 in the AFL squad, and then we can then figure out from there who we need for the draft. That's my best 23 for obviously round one potentially. So obviously we've got Quaynard, Murphy, Maynard, Howe, Moore, Markov in the back line. We've then got Darcy Cameron as our ruck, and then you've got DeGoey and Crisp on ball, and then you've got Josh Dacos and Nick Dacos on the wings, with obviously Tom Mitchell playing at centre, getting the inside ball. Then we've got our forwards of Bobby Hill, Checkers, Lipinski, Schultz, McStay, Elliott. And then obviously with the bench finishing it off, we've got Pendlebury, Sidebottom, Elliott, McCreary and Cox. I thought I'd put, guys like Pendlebury, Sidebottom, guys like that on the bench, just because, it's a long season and you don't want them to tire out, as they are extremely important to success if we are to have it. So yeah, just put them on the bench and just to let them ease into the season. Rounding out the emergencies, we have Finlay McRae, John Noble, Reef McInnes and Billy Frampton. So with all that, we will now do what is left of the other players, and we'll do a best 23 of the VFL squad now. There you have it, that's the VFL squad. So we've got obviously Charlie Dean at full back. Our half back line is Noble, Frampton and Jacob Ryan. Just want to quickly touch on, if you guys would like this content, I've actually got a really good video for John Noble in terms of where I think his future should be, in terms of where he should be playing his footy. If you guys want that, make sure to let me know in the comments below. And even if you want that content, make sure to like the video as well. And but I think you guys would enjoy that content, because I feel like his future is a bit up in the air, personally. So I've got a bit of a pretty awesome plan for him if the club were to do what I'm thinking that they should do. So yeah, I think that would create a really good video. So make sure to let me know if you guys want that or not. So we move on to the midfield. So obviously we have Oscar Steen rucking. Then we've got Finlay McRae, Reef McInnes, Harvey Harris and Josh Carmichael and Ed Allen. Pretty good midfield. And I feel with this midfield too, this will be the reason why we probably won't draft a midfielder, or at least a pure midfielder, because you've already got Finlay McRae, Reef McInnes, even Carmichael, Ed Allen, and even like Harvey Harrison if he is to play on the wing this year, because he's been a bit more of a half forward. But now that it's his third year, and he's probably got to lift a little bit, at least in my opinion, because when you're on the list on your third year, that should be where we should be seeing where you're going as a footballer. And with his speed and just overall pace, I feel like that would suit him really well being on the wing. Now after the forwards, we've got Joe Richards, Nathan Kruger at centre forward, Aiden Begg as the full forward, but also potentially can see him rotating with Steen as the second ruck. Thought he had some good games last year in the VFL, especially that Richmond game, if you guys remember. I think he kicked 4 and he was absolutely amazing in the ruck as well. So hopefully there's hopefully that's the confidence he needs to have a really big year next year. And then to round off, we've got AJ, who I think again potentially could also have another good year, given that another year in the system, a bit more confidence, and hopefully with a bit more support around him, sort of thing, he can lift. And because I feel like with him, he has the potential of really being a serious player in this competition. And if he can improve and lift that work rate up, I can easily see him being in the top 20 best players in the comp. He is honestly that good. It's just a wait and see on that one though. So that rounds off the AFL team and the VFL team. So obviously, our side looks pretty good, even though we've got some players to put into that squad. So Yeah, obviously we'll go over to our picks, and yeah, obviously we are needing 2 defenders, a player that potentially plays back pocket, and probably another key defender, and then we'll probably also need potentially a key forward and also a small forward. So we'll go ahead and get stuck into that. With pick 19 being our first pick, and obviously having 1933 and 72, we're going to go through the positions in terms of which players we could be looking at. So for pick 19 as the key defender, the one player I would be looking at is Zane Zakaselsky. So with Zane Zakaselsky, he's a kid from Western Australia. He's 196 centimeters and plays a bit of key defense, but also plays a bit of ruck. And yes, I know I just said he was 196 centimeters and he could potentially be a ruck. But the thing is with him, he did the AFL Draft combine and he actually won the vertical leap, and he had a vertical leap of 80 centimeters. So I feel like when it comes to him being a ruckman, with that leap, he could even potentially be a main ruck if he was to have the skills. And with obviously the AFL wanting fast ball movement and, you know, wanting more attacking and aggressive play, there's every chance this kid could actually be that next main ruckman, but, you know, is 196 centimeters tall. So it's going to be extremely interesting to see where his career will lead him to, I guess, or his football career. Because yeah, I've got really high hopes for this kid, and yeah, even though he's probably around in the maybe early 30s at the moment, even mid 30s, but given that what he's done in the draft combine, I would not be shocked if he bolts up the list and even probably won't be a first round pick, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he's pretty darn close. But yeah, for my pick as a key defender, Zane Zakaselsky will be that player. And then for Zane Zakaselsky, if there is an AFL player I will compare him to, the closest one is obviously Mark Blitzels from Geelong. Obviously he's a bit of a defender, a bit of a ruck, but it's his athleticism that definitely gets the job done. And yeah, obviously we'll see how his career goes, but yeah, very excited to see how his future unfolds, because yeah, I'm definitely a fan. So now with the back pocket, again, another kid from Western Australia. I believe earlier in the year we actually had him train at Collingwood for I believe a brief period of time. It's a thing that all clubs do during the year, normally around, you know, just before the season starts, just to get the kids to train on, just to see how it is in an AFL environment. I believe we had Colby McKercher, Riley Hardiman, and I believe there was another one too, maybe Will Lorenz, I think. Those were the 3 that were at the club and training and, you know, getting a good taste of it. And yeah, so obviously the pick 19, that's roughly around his pick. And yeah, if we were to get him in terms of, you know, needing a back pocket, yeah, he's definitely the pick I would take. So for the back pocket, I'll take Riley Hardiman. Alright, so here we have Riley Hardiman. He's obviously going to be our option for pick 19 if we are to go for a small defender. He's 185 centimeters. In terms of a Collingwood comparison, I actually really compare him to someone like a Trey Rusco. Not as tall, but yeah, that's definitely the type of player that I feel like this kid can be. Just someone that is, you know, quick, takes the game on, similar to how like a Noble does in terms of how he's always aggressive with the ball, like how he just gets it and he just takes off. If there is an AFL comparison, I would probably say like an Ed Richards from Geelong. If there is an AFL comparison, I would say that it's probably like an Ed Richards from the Doggies. You know, how he likes to, you know, take the game on a bit, and, you know, he likes to use his kicking to his advantage, sort of thing. So yeah, so that's obviously, you know, a really good attribute to have, obviously. And yeah, if we were to get him, which I doubt, but if we were to get him, this would be a really good pick. Now for pick 19, obviously if we're going to go in the key forward department, for those that, you know, keep track of my Twitter, obviously you guys, you know, hear me talk about this kid a lot, even though I've heard a lot in the last, like, probably few hours that this guy's going to drop significantly. But at the end of the day, there was a few key forwards I was sort of umming and ahhing about and to put in certain positions, but if this was like my personal opinion, I would just take him at pick 19 and just be done with it. But even though I feel like we won't go a key forward with our first pick, I feel like there are other options that are better. But yeah, I mean, obviously, yeah, it's pick 19, so you got to make sure you get it right. And with Reed potentially dropping a few spots, potentially it could be a pick 33, but just for the ease of content, I'm just gonna have him available at pick 19 and let that be it. But yeah, that's the player I have at pick 19 as our key forward. It is Archer Reed. So with Archer Reed, obviously, as you guys know, I do talk about him a lot on my Twitter. So obviously, I might as well just plug my Twitter here, obviously under the same name. So if you haven't already, make sure to follow me on Twitter, where I do like to give my thoughts every now and then. But 203 centimeters, hasn't probably shown a lot when it comes to in-game. He has had games where he has had kicked goals, but from a consistency point of view, which is probably why he's going to drop down, I feel like other players have shown more ability and have been more proven this year. But obviously with a guy like this, 203 centimeters is actually very athletic for his size. So he's sort of, some could label him as a Tom Hawkins type or a Tom Lynch type. I see him as potentially being that, but also his ground ball game and how he is below his knees is actually seriously underrated in terms of his ability and what he's able to do on a football field, especially for his height. I mean, the guy's 203 centimeters. One of the other things as well too, he's also 94 kilos. So the reason why I'm mentioning that is that can also go both ways, where obviously he has a bit of weight on him, but also as well too, that could also mean that he could be he could be a lot more ready earlier than expected. So obviously, yeah, it's a bit of a risk picking him in terms of wanting to go for proven talent, but I feel like whoever picks him up, I feel like they've got an absolute gem of a player. And yes, might take some time, might take 2 or 3 years to develop, but God, when he's ready, he will be amazing to watch. And yeah, personally, as a fan of his, yeah, I can't wait to see him at his best, because yeah, if what I imagine is his best, we are in for an absolute treat when he starts playing some games of AFL. We are now going to go on to the small forward that we're potentially going to pick up at pick 19. So with this, I'm going Lance Collard. So Lance Collard has basically, he's the one that has been picked at our pick for the last few days, I feel. In terms of the player that he is, I actually wouldn't mind him at the club. Needing that extra small forward is actually something we do need, in terms of at least having in the reserves. Because if you look at our senior list, our AFL small forwards are extremely good, but then when you look at the VFL small forwards, you've got Harvey Harrison and Joe Richard, and then maybe another kid that we're going to also pick up in the draft. So I feel like if we pick up Lance Collard at pick 19, I feel like he's already above both Harrison and Joe Richards. So this would be a good pick because it makes us better. He already leaps over other players already as it is, in my personal opinion, for just overall talent if you put him in the forward pocket. So obviously we'll see how his career goes, but this guy will be a really good pickup. So yeah, for our small forward at pick 19, we will potentially get Lance Collard. Alright, so with Lance Collard, he's 180 centimeters and 65 kilo. Don't let the weight obviously be a issue with him, because I'm sure he'll put on some weight in his playing in the next few years. But just think of basically Jamie Elliott with explosive pace. That's basically what you're basically looking at. So if you combine Elliott with Hill, that's basically the type of play you're going to be getting. So definitely wouldn't be upset, as I said before, with this pick if we do pick him up, because he's definitely a need and definitely someone that if we do have. He's already, better than some of the players on our list already. I just can't wait to get this kid in, and yeah, how exciting to get a player of his skills in the door at Collingwood. Alright, so we also Alright, so we've now done pick 19, so those are the potential options. So now we're going to move to pick 33. So pick 33, key defender. I feel like this kid is a bit of an underrated pick in the draft. Like, I feel like, potentially is probably going to go for unders in terms of what he's worth. I just really like the kid and really like how he goes about it. Let's just get stuck into this player and talk about him, because he's a very exciting very exciting prospect. And that is Ari Schoenmaker. So Ari Schoenmaker, he's 194 centimeters and he's 91 kilos. Really, really good weight for that size. So potentially, he could be one of those guys who could play round one. Obviously, for him to be playing round one would be a massive effort, given that we've just come off winning a flag. But if there is one player to do it, I feel like Collard could potentially do that. Hardiman could do that, but I don't think he'll be at our pick. And then even maybe a Selsky could potentially, at least for the players I've listed or spoken about at least at this point. But the guy is very, very good, and just can't wait for him to get through the door. Does a lot of intercepting, has a massive kick on him. I feel like that's been reported a hell of a lot. Even did the longest kick for Fox Footy, so obviously everyone is very aware that he can kick the ball. But I feel like his leadership and just the way he backs himself into a contest, he's got he's got a really good trait of just being fearless, and will basically back himself in every time. And I can't wait to get the kid through the door. So hopefully we pick him up and he becomes a pie. But we'll wait and see later tonight. So for pick 33, this is where I'm going to basically pick a guy that's probably a little bit like left field. I really, really rate this kid. Plays like a bit of a Tom Stewart. Probably not super tall. I believe he's only 190 centimeters. If we were to pick this kid up, I feel like this would be a really good pickup, especially at the pick, because I really rate the kid, obviously, as I said. And Geelong Falcons kid, and if he is to play at the expectations that I have in that, my God, he's going to be a very good one. So for that player, that is Angus Hastie. So Angus Hastie is a kid that's, as I said, was 190 centimeters. Basically plays like a combination of Markov and Maynard. So has the quickness of Markov, but then also I feel like he's gonna, if in a few years he hits the gym and bulks up a bit, he can turn into someone like a Maynard with a bigger body. This kid's really exciting. If I have to have an AFL comparison, I'd probably have him as like a Tom Stewart potentially. Just the way that he competes for, it's just the way that he competes in his one-on-ones, and just the way that he can just have that overall sense of calmness, and it just oozes, leadership in a sense. This is a kid that I feel like once you pick him up, he's just gonna apply his trade, and you're not gonna have to be worrying about him too much, sort of thing. So I feel like this is, even though it's pick 33, I feel like this is a very safe bet, and would absolutely love him at the Pies. And we'll see how we go on draft night and see if we do. So the next one, we're going after a key forward, pick 33. So looking at some of the options, obviously you've got Archer Reid, we've already picked, even though he's probably potentially around that pick as well. This is another one, I feel like we're not going to get him, because I've got a bit of mail at the moment that he's potentially off to Richmond. I believe Richmond are keen on this kid, and yeah, we'll see how we go in the draft and how it all plays out. But our key forward for pick 33 is Logan Morris. Alright, so there you go. So we've got Logan Morris as our key forward for pick 33. This is definitely a kid that has a lot of talent and also has kicked a lot of goals in his games. So he definitely has a lot of proven talent. Definitely needs to work on a few things, but I feel like, with every draftee is going to need things that they need to improve on. So I feel like pick 33, if he is available, would be a really good sweet spot. But potentially is probably somewhere in the middle of pick 19 and pick 33, unfortunately. As I said, with some late mail, I believe Richmond are keen on him, and I believe Richmond had pick 29. So if that is the case, then obviously, we're not going to get him, and he'll be off to Richmond. But obviously, 191 centimeters, so he's a bit undersized. So, when it comes to his contested marking, which is his biggest strength, it's not a certainty that, it's a certainty of him potentially having a strong presence in the AFL. So, even though I feel like the kid is very talented, but you can just never be too sure. But no, obviously I hope he does well, and if he does go to the Tigers, he definitely makes them better. And I just wish him all the best. Alright, so with pick 33, if we are going to go after a small forward, I believe that we will probably go after this kid. He's a South Australian product. Basically was kicking goals for fun in this draft year. And without further ado, we'll just get stuck into it. And the guy's name is Jack Deline. So with Jack Deline, this one's a very interesting pick actually, because if you look at it on paper, I mean, the kid is just... It's so strange, because normally a kid that's this proven is normally like a first round pick. So for him to be around this pick, which is actually possible, which is surprising, it's just shocking that you can have, I believe, there's a thing right here where it says he's kicked 53 goals from 20 games across all levels. Normally when you have someone that is, kicking, 2.4 goals a game, if you're doing things like that and you're a small forward, he's 181 centimeters, 77 kilos. I don't know what to say. I'm shocked he's not a first round pick, or he's not looking to be a first round pick at this point. So will be interesting to see where he goes. And I personally can't wait to see what he has in store at AFL level, regardless if it's at Collingwood or not, because I really rate the kid. I mean, all the kids I've spoken about today I definitely rate, so otherwise I guess technically I wouldn't even have them in these spots. But definitely small forward. If you need a small forward that kicks goals, this is your guy. Cody Waitman, Jamie Elliott, trying to think of another one, but it's just basically I mean, even like a Chinovan, but I feel like with Deline, like the one thing with him is that he's got really good football IQ, and has that just X factor ability with a lot of pace, and can't wait to see what he does at AFL level. And again, I wish him all the best and hope he goes well. So for pick 72, now this is one of those picks where this is a really, really hard one to do because it's so far down the draft order. But not only is it so far down, we don't know what this pick will be. So this pick could easily be, it could be pick 72 or it could be pick 45. Like, we just don't know. It'll probably be somewhere, I'm assuming it's going to be somewhere in the early 50s, maybe the late 40s. So it's going to be interesting to see what talent is there. If there's any pick to not quote me on, this is the pick. But this is YouTube. We make content, so let's get stuck into it. For pick 72 as a key defender, I feel like this guy, I've just got this feeling he's going to slide big time. Same as probably Archer Reed. I feel like Archer Reed is going to slide as well. But yeah, with this kid, he's a key defender. And yeah, if you'd asked me a week ago, 2 weeks ago, I would have said he would have been a top 15 pick, and yeah, he's looking like he may not even be in the top 40, which is crazy. He's a tall kid, 200 centimeters and 85 kilos, so he's a good playing weight. Still probably needs to stack on some more kilos, but I mean, yeah, that'll obviously happen over time. And I love how competitive he is in like the one-on-ones. He absolutely hates to lose, regardless if that's regardless if that's trying to win a game or trying to win, like when he's trying to beat his opponent and he's trying to win his one-on-ones. Anytime he loses, he just absolutely hates it. But not only does he hate it, but he also then goes on to wanting to then obviously learn from those mistakes and to improve and get better. And I feel like from an attitude point of view, you can't ask for much better. And God, I'm not confident he's going to get to this peak, but I feel like he's going to drop. And I feel like Shawmaker, who is the other key defender, I feel like he's above him in terms of where Murphy is at. But obviously, I've just named the player. But yeah, I think I have this very funny feeling that Murphy's going to drop. And yeah, so pick 72, if we go for a key defender, we'll go for, hopefully, if he's available, Ollie Murphy. So yeah, basically I've already said what I've needed to say with Murphy. Hates losing the one-on-ones and just in general. Really competitive beast, and especially with our lack of key defensive depth at the moment. It's definitely something that the club will be looking at. So yeah, you would think if he's available, you'd definitely be picking him up. So, but yeah, doubt it, but you can just never know. For our back pocket at pick 72, this is an interesting one because I feel like this kid can also drop as well. Again, all these players that I have here could easily be at pick 33 as well. So, again, for someone that's trying to do my best to be as accurate as possible, it's just near impossible to have guys that pick 72 and to get an accurate reading of it, sort of thing. But yeah, obviously with the back pocket, it's going to be a very interesting one if he's available, because I feel like I had heard enough whispers to where we could be interested. But even though Derek Hine has said himself that we're only taking 2 picks, but I'm really curious to know that if this guy is there, would he be a third player that we pick up? It could be, it could not be, but we'll see. But yeah, that player is Bodie Ryan. Alright, so Bodie Ryan is a 187 centimeter player, and is also has the playing weight of 82 kilos. Not too bad. So basically, in terms of a defender, this would be like your Braden Maynard sort of type of defender. Loves to take the game on, is really tough and aggressive. And I feel like, if you need someone to, jump in on a pack and, to be that bulldozer in the back line, I feel like this kid is going to be exactly that. Yeah, even having him and Maynard in the same team, I feel like would be great value for entertainment, to be honest, because yeah, him and Maynard are basically, I feel like that they're going to, I feel like Ryan, if he's going to be any player in the AFL, Maynard is exactly it. So yeah, so we'll see if he drops down to that pick, and yeah, if he is available for that pick, I'd love to pick him up. But yeah, with that said, we will wait and see with what happens with that. Pick 72, key forward. This kid, again, I don't think this kid is going to be available at pick 72, but this is definitely a kid I do rate. Has definitely risen up draft boards, I feel, in the last week or two. And yeah, I personally can't wait to get him in the door if he is available, and especially the fact that we are needing probably a key forward anyway. This would just be really awesome to get, because yeah, he's just that pure key forward, and you give him a bit of time and development, and yeah, I can see him really going places. And yeah, that is Riley overall. So with Riley, overall, this is a really exciting prospect, especially if he falls to a pick this late. I feel like he's a bit of a combination of, you know, a bit of Tex Walker, but also maybe a bit of Hawkins in him. You know, that really big, strong key forward, but even though his improvements are to be really good below his knees, I feel like if he does achieve that, he's basically Tex Walker, but at 197 centimeters. And God, for those that don't know, Taylor Walker's about 192, I believe, roughly, around about that. So to basically have a Tex Walker type that's 5 centimeters taller, yeah, it's a pretty entertaining idea. So yeah, this is definitely a kid that could go, you know, really far in the AFL if he decides to yeah, focus on his AFL career. And yeah, hopefully he does, because if he has a great career, you know, it's only us that, you know, get to enjoy what he does. Yeah, so there you go. So that's Riley Weatherald for the key forward at pick 72. So this is a bit of a interesting one, a bit of left field one. Like, I know he's not technically a small forward, but it's, you know, the closest I can have in terms of a guy that I would really like inside the club. So this kid, he plays for the Sandringham Dragons. Probably plays like a bit of a half forward, but can also go into the midfield. I believe he's also even captain of the Sandringham Dragons, so for those that have been watching that team, you probably know who I'm talking about. I'm pretty sure he's captain. But yeah, has a lot of leadership qualities, obviously being captain, and it's just every time I've watched him play, he just always seems to have that really crucial play. Like, he always seems to be getting himself into a spot where he's always putting himself into a position to win the game for his team. And normally when you see guys like that, it's always better to never ignore that, because those are the players where you can turn those guys that happen to pick 72 or 55 or whatever the pick is, and they can turn into your Toby Greens, or they can turn into your guys that can, like, win you the match. So for me personally, if Will Brown, obviously as I said the name, if he's there at pick 72, we cannot miss out on picking this guy. Yeah, like, and, you know, even it's ironic given that I'm saying he's a small forward as well, given he's 195 centimeters, but yeah, this guy, yeah, if he's there at pick 72, please, Derek Hine, please just take him. Yeah, because improvements I see here are kicking and speed. He can improve that. I mean, he's a 195 centimeters, so as long as he can take a decent mark, which he can develop that over time, but his strengths are endurance, which is a plus, leadership plus, size and stoppage craft. So yeah, so obviously he can go into the midfield and win us a stoppage. So for pick 72, surely you got to take it. Yeah, that's those. So Will Brown is my player at. I know it's funny given that he's 195, but yeah, he's my player for the small forward position. So there you have it. Obviously, those are the players that I now have, you know, potentially, hopefully, or obviously that they're not all going to come to Collingwood, but if we can get, I mean, I would like to think that we get at least two of those. If we get two of those players out of that list I have there, I'd be pretty happy, but yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. And even for pick 72, like someone like a Will Brown or like a Riley Weatherall, if he's available for that pick, hopefully we can snatch up a player like that, because yeah, that would be absolutely awesome. But yeah, hopefully this video isn't too long for you guys, and yeah, obviously yeah, that's pretty much it for the video. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments below and what you think. What player do you want? What are your just overall thoughts on the draft? Let me know in the comments below. But for now, we've now reached the end of the video. If you like the video, please like the video. And if you want more of my content, please subscribe. And I would like to thank you all for watching. Hope to see you all in another video. Thanks.